today's video, I'll be showing you how I made a large reptile heated hide box for my lace monitors. The main material I used for this build is foam ply. It is strong, easy to clean, and somewhat weather resistant. First, I cut the foam ply into the right sizes with my circular saw. It is just a basic 6-sided rectangular box. I used my brad nailer to pin the four walls of the box together before securing them with screws. I like to pre-drill pilot holes and countersink before screwing each time to prevent the wood from cracking and for a nicer finish. The bottom of the box is also attached to the four walls in the same way. I marked the circle on the foam ply that's just big enough for the monitors to squeeze in and cut the hole with the jigsaw. The smaller the hole, the better it'll be at keeping the heat in. I didn't want to leave the box sitting on the mulch in case the monitors dig under it and get squished. I also didn't want the box to be below the level of the mulch in case water seeps in and damage the electrical components. So I decided to attach feet and raise the heated hide box to the same level as the depth of the mulch in the enclosure. I did this by drilling pocket holes on a piece of treated pine and screwed them straight to the bottom of the box. I used underfloor heat film as the heating component for this build. I won't go into the details of how I wired the heat film since I've already made a video on that. Feel free to check out that video via the link in the description below. Coming back to the heated elements of this heating box. I put tiles over the heat film to protect the surface of the film and to prevent the animals from ever making contact with it. The box is actually made to the right size so that I don't have to cut any tiles. I left a bit of a gap at the end that will allow me to partition off a section that contains all of the electrical wiring. That way, the monitors will have no chance of making contact with anything that may injure them. Once the cover goes on, all the electricals will be neatly hidden away, but I still have access to the thermostat to control and monitor the temperature of the heat box. In order to bring electricity into the enclosure, I ran a long outdoor rated extension cord from the garage. The extension cord will supply electricity to a basking lamp, which is controlled by a timer, and to the heated hide, which is controlled by the thermostat. I made my own waterproof electrical junction box for this installation. I got a typical lunchbox container and cut 3 holes down in one end, one for the electricity supply, one outlet for the heat lamps, and one outlet for the heated hide box. These nylon cable glands have a rubber seal so all the electrical components are sealed within the box and protected from water and the monitors. In order to mount my electrical junction box, I cut 2 holes at the back of the container and used button head screws to attach it to the top of the enclosure. The cable running down from the junction box to the heated hide box will also need to be protected from the monitors, so I fed it through some PVC pipes and secured the pipes with conduit clips. I used a few 90-degree PVC elbows to direct the pipe straight into the electrical compartment of the heated hide. It was then time to get everything connected. First, I wired the power supply to the thermostat and to the heat mat. Then I wired the temperature sensing probe to the thermostat, and the end of the probe was strategically placed at a location that is representative of the temperature reading of the heat box. After the thermostat was wired in, the cover of the electrical compartment was screwed on. From here on, I only need to unscrew and access that compartment for repairs. I wasn't sure if the monitors would have an issue sharing the same hide. I was worried that the dominant monitor would occupy the hide and stop the other one from getting in, so I decided to put a removable divider in case that happens. Now I can split the hide box into 2 whenever required. This step is optional, depending on the needs of your reptiles. I also cut a few lengths of pine to size and screwed them to the perimeter of the box. They're inset by about 18mm, so that the top of the hide can sit flush and secure without the need for any screws or hinges. The only thing left to do was to fill the hide box with sugarcane mulch. Sugarcane mulch helps insulate the box and make the monitors feel snug and secure. My heated hide box is set to 10 degrees Celsius. This means that the heating will not come on for the majority of the time. It comes on the coldest nights only. It's best to avoid giving warm heated hide box to your reptiles unless they're from the tropics. I think it might interfere with the way they sense seasons and mess up their brumation cycles. It's always better to match the natural environment as much as possible. Even though naturally, lace monitors are found in regions that can get down to 0 degrees on some nights. Lace monitors in the wild have access to microhabitats that we just can't provide in captivity. Maybe lace monitors are spending the coldest nights in the middle of a large dead tree, or under a large boulder that's soaked up a lot of radiant heat throughout the day. So even though the temperature drops to 0 degrees in the wild, the monitor's core temperature is most likely going to be higher than that. That's all to today's video. Thanks for watching.